COP26, a pivotal moment in the fight against climate change. The 26th United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP26, held in Glasgow in November 2021, marked a significant milestone in global efforts to combat climate change. After 13 days of intense negotiations, nearly 200 countries agreed on the Glasgow Climate Pact, a landmark agreement aimed at accelerating climate action and keeping the goal of limiting global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius within reach, keeping 1.5 degrees Celsius alive. The Glasgow Climate Pact was hailed as a critical step forward, but it also underscored the urgency of the climate crisis. Alok Sharma, the COP26 President, emphasized that while the 1.5 degrees Celsius target remains achievable, it is fragile and depends on countries delivering on their commitments. The pact called for rapid and concerted action to phase down coal, halt deforestation, reduce methane emissions, and transition to clean energy. Key achievements of COP26. 1. Mitigation. Reducing emissions. Over 90% of the world's GDP is now covered by net zero commitments. 153 countries submitted new or updated nationally determined contributions indices, covering around 80% of global emissions. The pact finalized the Paris Rulebook, establishing common reporting standards and a mechanism for international carbon markets. 2. Adaptation and resilience. 80 countries are now covered by adaptation communications or national adaptation plans. The Glasgow Sharm el-Sheikh Work Program was launched to drive adaptation efforts globally. Record levels of adaptation finance were pledged, including a commitment to double adaptation finance by 2025. 3. Finance, mobilizing billions. Developed countries committed to delivering $100 billion annually in climate finance by 2023. 34 countries and 5 public finance institutions pledged to end international support for unabated fossil fuel projects by 2022. Private financial institutions aligned trillions of dollars with net zero goals. For collaboration, working together. The Glasgow Breakthroughs initiative aims to make clean technologies the most affordable and accessible options in key sectors like power, transport, and steel. Collaborative frameworks were established for energy transition, sustainable agriculture, and zero-emission vehicles, phasing down coal and transitioning to clean energy. COP26 marked the first time countries agreed to phase down unabated coal power, a significant step in reducing global emissions. Over $20 billion was mobilized to support developing countries in transitioning away from coal and scaling up renewable energy. This includes initiatives like the $8.5 billion South Africa Just Energy Transition Partnership and the $10 billion Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet, protecting nature and reducing methane emissions. Forest and land use. 137 countries pledged to halt and reverse deforestation by 2030, covering 91% of the world's forests. Over $20 billion in public and private finance was committed to support these efforts. Methane. Over 100 countries signed the Global Methane Pledge, aiming to reduce methane emissions by 30% by 2030. This is crucial, as methane is a potent greenhouse gas with significant warming potential. Inclusive and just transition. COP26 emphasized the importance of a just transition, ensuring that climate action is inclusive and benefits all communities, particularly the most vulnerable. Initiatives like the Adaptation Research Alliance and the Task Force on Access to Climate Finance were launched to support developing countries in building resilience and accessing climate finance. Youth and public engagement. The conference placed a strong focus on youth engagement, climate education, and public participation. The Glasgow Work Program on Action for Climate Empowerment was established to promote these efforts over the next decade. Young people and civil society played a central role in shaping the agenda and driving ambition. Challenges ahead. While COP26 achieved significant progress, the work is far from over. Countries must now translate their commitments into rapid and tangible action. The Glasgow Climate Pact will only keep the 1.5 degrees Celsius target within reach if countries deliver on their pledges and continue to raise ambition in the years ahead. Conclusion. COP26 was a watershed moment in the global fight against climate change. It brought together governments, businesses, and civil society to accelerate action and keep the 1.5 degrees Celsius target alive. However, the real test will be in the implementation of the commitments made. The world now looks to countries to turn their promises into action and ensure a sustainable future for all.